الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وسيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My brothers and sisters, one of the realities of life that there is no escape from is the reality that we all go through tests and trials and difficulties and hardships. And not only that, not only is it the reality of our lives, it is the reality of our iman. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test us and try us in this life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this absolutely clear for the people of iman. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. That do the people think that they will be left alone simply because they say we believe and they will not be tested? وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Certainly we tested those who came before them. And as people of iman, as people of faith, we look at this ayah, we hear the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we hunker down. We get ready for these tests and trials, for we know that there is no life without being tested and tried. And there are moments of ease, and there are moments of hardship. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when speaking to the people of iman, commands us with three things. Isbiru, have patience. Wasabiru, and have more patience. Warabitu, and tie down. Isbiru meaning have patience in these moments. Wasabiru, have more patience, meaning have more patience than whatever you're going through. Whatever your trial is, the level of your patience has to be higher. Warabitu, coming from the word rabt, which means to tie. Tie yourself down, hunker yourself down for the long haul. Meaning the moments when you're feeling like you can't make it, the moments when you feel like you can't continue, remind yourself that it is part of your aqeedah, it is part of your creed, it is part of your faith to be tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is at those moments that we bring out our principles. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah will not test a soul, Allah will not test a nafs with more than they can handle. So in this political and social climate, when we feel like it's too much, when we feel like maybe, you know what, this time we can't handle it, remember, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. We tested those who came before them. Because you know what, we were saying the same thing after 9/11. We were saying, you know what, I don't know if I can make it through this time. And then the next event happened and we said, you know what, I think this is it. I think we can't make it. And in this political and social climate, I know some of us are thinking, I don't know if we can make it. I don't know if I can persevere anymore. But remember that as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you faith, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you people of iman, likewise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to overcome these difficulties. And my brothers and sisters, right now, as the Muslim community in America, we're at a very important time. We're at a crossroads. There are decisions and choices to be made right now. Lives are changing, my brothers and sisters. We're in a different environment. Number one, whether we like it or not, we're forced to up our game. You know, there was a time where you could live a passive Muslim life, or you could live in your little bubble. You could be a Muslim and nobody knows. You go to school and you go to work. You go to the grocery store and you just hide your Islam. And nobody knows. And maybe you go to the masjid on Jum'ah. Maybe you go attend Eid and that's it. But that time is gone, my brothers and sisters. Now Islam is at the forefront. Islam is the topic of discussion everywhere we go. It's hard to turn on the news and not hear someone talking about your religion. So we have to up our game. We have to understand that we are now the representatives of Islam. There was a time where you could sit there in the audience and say, yeah, that person on stage, they're going to represent Islam for me. My local imam, he's going to represent Islam for me. This so-and-so well-known person, they are going to represent Islam for me. But my brothers and sisters, that time is gone. We all represent Islam now. Our actions and our behaviors have to match what we have been talking about. We've been talking for a very long time. We've been talking about the beauty of Islam. We've been talking about all Islam has to offer. We've been making a lot of speeches, but now, my brothers and sisters, now is the time to deliver. Now it's our responsibility, not as an imam or a sheikh, as a scholar. It's me as a Muslim in my community. It is my time to deliver. It is our time to deliver, my brothers and sisters. It's decision time. Do we hold on or do we let go? And every time we're faced with a trial, every time we're faced with a difficulty, I know there's part of us that says, you know what, just let go. You know what, my name is Muhammad, maybe it's better if I go as Mo. You know, I used to want to identify as Muslim, but maybe now is not the time anymore. But there's another force pulling at us, saying that now is the time to represent Islam. Now is the time to hold firm to our morals. Now is the time to hold firm to our identity, because you know what? It's not just about us. It's not just about this generation. It's about the generation to come. And I'll ask you this question. If we start chipping away at our deen now, if we start chipping away at our religion now, if we start letting this go and letting that go and saying, you know what, this is not the time. This is not the time for me to be that representative of Islam. This is not the time for me to show my Islam. If we start chipping away at our religion now, then what will be left for our children? What will be left for the generation that comes after us? Because now we are responsible. Just like the generation before us, we have a lot. We owe them a lot. It is because of the work that they did that we are able to gather here in the thousands and be proud of our Islam. And we want to continue that tradition. We want to continue the tradition that the next generation comes, our kids come, and they say, you know what? My parents held on to Islam. My parents held on to their deen. They were proud. They were proud to be Muslim and proud to be American at the same time. And that makes it that today I have a legacy to follow. This is the time, my brothers and sisters. This is the time to establish that legacy. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us, likewise Allah gives us the ability and the opportunity to raise us in status. For how else were the prophets raised in status? The Prophet ﷺ told us that those who are tested most severely are the Anbiya. Allah raised them in status by testing them. And likewise, we should have no doubt. We should have no doubt in our mind that Allah wants to raise our status, that Allah wants to strengthen us, Allah wants to unite us, Allah wants us to hold on. Allah wants us to be an example for the generations that come after us. My brothers and sisters, that is the bigger picture. But I don't want to just leave you with that. It's easy to talk about the quote-unquote glamorous topics. It's easy to talk about Islamophobia and hate and bigotry, and yes, that is the larger challenge for us. That is the larger picture. Our ummah indeed is going through immense difficulties, but never belittle the individual problems that you are going through. Never belittle the little problems that seem little from the outside. Because each and every one of us, we have our own struggle. Each and every one of us, we have our own trials. And how can you tell me, somebody who is going through an emotional trial, someone whose life is suffering, that their hardship means any less? Their hardship for them is a hardship. Their distress and their trial for them is a hardship. So I want to make sure that as we talk about these bigger issues, and yes, they need to be talked about. Yes, we need to encourage one another. Yes, we need to hold on to one another and unite and come together and help each other persevere. Likewise, we need to also look out for the little guy or the little girl. We need to start meeting the needs of our communities. We need to start looking out for those segments of our communities that have been neglected for too long, whether it be the role of women, whether it be our reverts and convert brothers and sisters who we've neglected for so long, whether it be our brothers and sisters suffering from mental illnesses, whether it be those sections of our communities that are suffering, that are afflicted with disabilities. Now is the time, my brothers and sisters, as we forge our identity and as we come together. Likewise, we have to do it. We have to make sure that we're doing it in a complete fashion. We have to make sure that as we're forging our identity, that it begins with the little person. It begins with the neglected needs, and we move up from there. And I know what a lot of people think. A lot of people think, what can I do? How can I make a difference? I'm just one individual. I look out and I see these big Muslim organizations, and I see these well-known speakers and so on and so forth, but I'm just an individual. What can I do? My brothers and sisters, we all have a role to play. And sometimes we miss out on doing something good because we're just waiting to do something great. And with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't know what that definition is. We may do something seemingly small, but with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is great. لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا. The Prophet ﷺ said, never belittle anything from good. So all I ask from you today, as we come to the close or close to the end of this evening, all I ask is that you make the personal intention to make a difference. And never tell yourself that it's too small. Never tell yourself that it's not big enough. Never tell yourself that it's not glamorous enough. Because the real work is really, really being done by the people who are unseen. And it has been like that throughout history. And we will show up on the Day of Judgment, and I have no doubt that we will see people walking in front of us into Jannah, people that we never imagined, people that we never looked at, people that we never thought about. And we will see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take those people who are unknown in this life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them true celebrities. The celebrity on the Day of Judgment is the real celebrity. Because you're not talking about a few thousand followers. You're not even talking about 1 million followers. You're talking about billions and billions of people who will be standing on the Day of Judgment looking at this individual who was unknown in this life. This individual who thought, nobody knows what I am doing, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what I am doing. And so as we go through these tests and trials, my brothers and sisters, revive your iman, revive your spirituality, revive your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hold firm. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Jazakumullahu khaira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.